University, the best days in a young person's life. These bright young things are about to embark on a chapter of learning, of discovery,
of cutting sick. Tradition.
They call it tradition, but tradition isn't torture.
A rite of passage.
Degrading initiation rites.
Prestige.
Behind the walls of some of Australia's most prestigious colleges is a toxic culture of drinking, degradation, sexual intimidation, and assault.
Ah, yes, university colleges. Today I'm talking about the oldest, grandest university colleges. Many of our best and brightest / richest and whitest university students spend their days there. They also spend up to $800 a week there. Earlier this year, the group End Rape on Campus Australia released the Red Zone Report, an independent study which details the shocking culture of hazing and abuse at university residential colleges. But hazing is just harmless fun, right?
Yeah, because there's nothing more fun than being locked in a bathroom and having vats of dead fish dumped on top of you, or posting details of embarrassing sexual encounters with fellow students online, or setting your pubes on fire. And if you're wondering if this is a case of the old kids today, it's not. This has been happening for a really long time.
We have a tradition that dates back generations in my family, from my grandfather to my father to me. We set our pubes on fire in O Week. This one's for you, Granddad.
But it gets worse. College students are 7 times more likely than non-college students to have been raped or sexually assaulted on campus. 21,000 students are assaulted on campus every year. That's enough to fill this whole lecture hall over 200 times. Sorry guys, I made you a statistic.
Excuse me, we're in the middle of a lecture here.
So why should you care what a bunch of college kids do? Well, college kids have a habit of ending up in high places. The college culture needs to change, otherwise our future leaders are going to grow up thinking that these sorts of demeaning acts are okay.
We've had a number of Prime Ministers who have gone through the colleges, a number of Olympians, a number of high-profile football players, media personalities, members of the clergy. We've got 4 papal knights that went to the colleges.
I don't know what a papal knight is, but it sounds fancy and dodgy all at the same time.
When will my true love save me?
It is I, a papal knight.
Oh, you're a papal knight, never mind.
We all know about the college's reputation for abusive hazing. We talk about it every O Week. But what we don't talk about is the fact that the toxic culture at college is preserved by a bunch of really old laws, like the St John's College Act of 1857 or the St Paul's College Act of 1854. Yes, that's right, many of our oldest colleges were formed under their own acts of state parliament. Queen Victoria had to approve them.
Yes.
Colleges having their own laws isn't exactly a new thing.
Back in 1209 at fancy old Oxford University in the UK, a fight erupted in the village after a college boy murdered a local village girl. The village people weren't too pleased, they violently retaliated and there was a big fight. The college people had a sook and headed down the road to start their own university, a little-known community college called Cambridge. 5 years later they returned to Oxford, introduced a hefty tax and imposed a law that said townspeople could not interfere with college at all.
This law was in place till 1984. So colleges being above the law has been a thing for nearly 1,000 years. The St John's College Act has just gone through New South Wales Parliament, so let's zero in there. St John's is a now co-ed college that's home to about 260 students at Sydney Uni. It was formed under an act which grants the college land on university campus, allows them to govern themselves however they see fit, and crucially, keeps them outside the control of the wider university. So, who does control St John's College? Answer, the Catholic Church. Because if there's one institution that knows how to treat young people, it's the Catholic Church.
We provide that environment for young adults here to explore their faith.
Yes, because as Jesus famously said,
Blessed are those who doth set their pubes on fire.
to be clear, the Act wasn't designed to protect these sorts of hazing rituals. At least, I hope not.
How can we enshrine our right to torture people who came to uni 1 year later than us? I don't know. I propose an act of parliament so that the crusty dean can't get all up in our shit.
But it can be argued that the Act has helped sustain the toxic culture that's developed at the college, whether or not that's intentional, by preventing accountability from external authorities and by ensuring that the governing council can only be elected by alumni. These problems came to a head in 2012 when extreme hazing left one student close to death.
The incident involved 30 male residents who are also students of the university, coercing her and a small number of other first-year girls to drink a potentially life-threatening mixture which contained dog food, off milk, Tabasco sauce, various forms of alcohol and shampoo.
This was a terrible and cruel event. The head of the college at the time, Michael Bonges, tried to discipline the students with a short suspension, some community service and a ban on running for student council, which may seem weak to some, but not to the students. They lawyered up and the college brought in a former federal court justice to oversee a mock trial at the college. That's right, they had their own pretend trial, which resulted in the overturning of the original punishment. After the mock court, several of the students got onto the council in the top roles. Diet justice, same format, none of the guilt. Surely the chief of the university, the head honcho, the top brass had something to say about this.
I have no authority in the colleges. I can't tell them what to do.
The colleges don't have to answer to the uni at all. And it turns out that the people most invested in keeping their rituals alive are not just the students, it's the alumni. And if you're wondering if they feel any shame, they do not, as evidenced by the fact that they willingly call themselves Johnsmen. Fun fact, if you say Johnsman 3 times, a rich white guy dressed in Lacoste appears and sexually harasses you. Johnsman. See? After the incident in 2012, St John's tried to crack down on hazing, but the alumni, reminder, mostly male, often at the upper reaches of society, resisted. They wanted to defend what they call traditions and what I call ritualistic torture of freshers.
Hashtag not all Johnsmen.
Wait, what? No hazing? What next? We can't hunt homeless people for sport? It's a slippery slope.
Ew! This intense resistance to change was a wake-up call for a lot of people, including some college members who lobbied the New South Wales Parliament to change the Act. Can you leave, please?
You're not even that pretty.
They lobbied the New South Wales Parliament with some success. The Act changed a bit, and now it's changing again.
The St John's College Bill 2017 is designed to significantly modernise the governance arrangements for St John's College at the University of Sydney.
Cool. Sorry, what does that actually mean?
It is pleasing to note that diversity in the College Council is further encouraged by the significant reform that clerical members can be either a Roman Catholic priest or a member of a Roman Catholic religious order.
Diversity. 2 kinds of Catholics. Okay, it doesn't sound that dramatic, but there are other changes too. There are provisions for gender diversity, and now the Vice-Chancellor can appoint a university representative onto the council. Hopefully, dismantling the old boy control of the College Council will pave the way for meaningful cultural change. The new St John's College Act is expected to be signed into law shortly, and credit to them for actually seeking change. But still, it's just one college. Many of our oldest, most exclusive colleges around the country are still protected by their own acts of parliament. Things won't get better overnight, but change has to start somewhere. It is not acceptable for anyone, let alone the most privileged future leaders of our country, to be treating people in such degrading and barbaric ways. And if we don't stop this behaviour now, there's no telling where it may lead.